Hey guys, it's Britt, and we're in a slightly different location today. I'm not on the couch, but I am in front of my bookshelf that I so graciously moved so I could show you guys. But, no, I'm kidding. I actually wanted to move this for a while, but I guess we will start at the top here. And if you hear noise in the background, that's my brother in the bathroom, looking at himself in the mirror. This is just a dragon egg from Game of Thrones. Specifically, this is Rhaegal's egg. I got it in a Geek Fuel box, and there's nothing in it. It's just here because I like it. And this, I actually did an unboxing for. This is the Raven Cycle book hugger right here. And you might think, just by looking at my shelf, that I like birds. No, I'm actually really terrified of birds, honestly. But these are just cute little knickknacks that I've gotten over the years. Like this little owl my mom got for me a few years back because she knows I like Harry Potter, or I liked Harry Potter. So she got me this little owl. And here I have the three-eyed raven. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's the three-eyed raven from Game of Thrones. Let's see if we can get that third eye. There we go, kind of. Yeah, he lives up here. And lastly, if you are familiar with the Dragon Age franchise, this is a Mabari, and his name is Crunch. And he also lives up here. Okay, there we go. And finally, my books. Now there are 3 different shelves. I know you can't really see them. I will do my best. But going from this way, we have, if I can get it out, The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, which I read and I'm going to reread because I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed it enough to get the sequel. So I'll just put these down for now and put them back gradually. Next up is My Lady Jane, and this has a few different authors. This is by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jodi Meadows. Now I have read this, I just haven't done a review on it, which I promise I will get to eventually. Next up is something I actually want to read this weekend, and this is Vasa in the Night by Sarah Porter, and this is actually a retelling of the legend of Baba Yaga. I know very little about the legend of Baba Yaga, so I think I'm gonna go do some Googling before I get into this, but I really want to read this weekend because it's been sitting on my shelf, and I spent quite a bit of money to get this, so I want to read it. And it's a pretty cover. Next up, we have, of course, the illustrated edition of George R.R. Martin's A Game of Thrones. I did an unboxing of this. I will link it over there. Next up is A Clash of Kings. Also in the Song of Ice and Fire series. And right here is A Dance with Dragons. I'm not going to take these out. Actually, I'm going to start putting these back. Next up is A Dance with Dragons. Because I don't have A Storm of Swords in hardback edition yet. And, okay, so then we have... I have to take the stickers off this from Thrift Books, but this is The War of the Roses, which is the historic events in which Game of Thrones is based on, so of course I had to read this. And also, sorry the lighting got less good all of a sudden. That happens when the sun goes behind a cloud. I can't really do much about that, I apologize. Next up is The Watchmaker of Filigree Street by Natasha Pulley. I've yet to read this one. I know it's been in a few Friday reads, but I just haven't been in the mood to read it. So, it's sitting here on my shelf waiting to be read, and I also, well, it's not, I bought it on a book outlet, but I still want to read it. But it was mostly a cover buy. I liked the cover, I thought it was pretty. Here, let me show you. This is by Natasha Pulley. I thought the cover was cool, but now I'm not so sure if I want to read it. I'm having difficulty getting into this. I will also... I got Shiver, so my friend Katie and I can read this together. I'm not usually into werewolves, so I was a little apprehensive to get this, but I'm always game to support Maggie Stiefvater, so... Next up on this shelf, and that's it for my hardbacks on this shelf, mostly, we have A Gentleman in Moscow, which I will also be reading this weekend. And finally, this is I've looked at this, and I kind of might regret buying this, but it's the biography of Maggie Stiefvater, so who knows. It's kind of made for children, but who knows, I might learn something. Children are not unintelligent. Okay, there we go. And back in there. Gentleman in Moscow. And there we go. Okay, so now, sorry I'm popping in and out of the shots. Let's see if I can get you low. Here are my paperbacks, all on this shelf. Now, I want to save reading this for the December Booktube A Thon, which is going on the... I think... I'll link the dates down below, but Booktube A Thon is happening in December for 3 days, and this is Smile, the story of Lily Allen. Guys, isn't that frightening? Obviously, she does not have dark circles like I do right now, but we could be twins. I have The Beach by Alex Garland, which you can see I'm reading. Right now, I have to mark this up and send it to Steve Donahue. Here, I have Neil Gaiman's The Ocean at the End of the Lane. I have a manga. This is Silver Spoon by Hiromu Arakawa. And I really like this one. I've read it a few times. It's about a boy who goes to an agricultural school instead of college in Japan. Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. This was one of my favorite childhood books. I think it's really cute. I haven't read it in a long time, but this was one of my favorite stories growing up, and it has a really good film as well, The Secret of Nim. If you've never watched it, go watch it. And then Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. Adrian, sorry, I'm not feeling the Fight Club. But next up is The Scorpio Races, also by Maggie Stiefvater. I have to finish this one up and send it to Becky. The Tesseract by Alex Garland, another Alex Garland. I'm quite a big fan of Alex Garland. I haven't read all of his works, but I want to eventually, because I really like his writing style. And I have to send this one to Adrian. Lastly, I have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I've started this one, but I can't seem to get into it. And I don't know what's going on with my lighting right now, but that seems really scary. And last up is Legend by Marie Lu. And I also have to read this eventually, but maybe I'll start this weekend. Maybe. And then finally, hold on, let me put all these back real quick. I have another shelf. I have one last little shelf, and hold on, guys, sorry. Okay, here we go. How did I set this up? I don't remember. Okay, yes. No, it was like this. Oh well, I'll fix it later. And then finally, Lily goes there. Okay, so last shelf is another one I'll be reading. And this is A Feast for Crows. I'm buddy reading this with Becky at Becky Ford. These are all Game of Thrones, guys. I have Inside HBO's Game of Thrones season 1 and 2. I also have 3 and 4 for this one, but I don't have it in here with me. And the next one is just the graphic novel set for A Game of Thrones, which I'm not really that into, but I bought them, so I want to read them. I've read the first one, and I've done a review on it. I wasn't thrilled, but I spent money on these and spent a long time collecting them, so I wanted to read them. Anyway. Alright, guys. That is it. And I hope my dark circles haven't frightened you too badly. And until next time, guys, if I don't see you this weekend, have a great weekend. And also, I have Maggie Stiefvater's Illuminating the Prophecy right here. That's just for her tarot card deck. And until next time, guys, I love you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Yeah.